First fish of the day, we're hooked up. Not sure what it is, but it could be a gurnard. It's got a nice bit of weight to it. First fish is always a bit of a guess. I'd say it's a gurnard. It's a gurnard. It's a nice one actually. Nice fat gurnard. Alright, first fish of the day. Nice fat gurnard there. Beautiful colours on them. It's a real fat one. That is beautiful, going to be delicious. Not the target species, but oh, can't complain with that. I absolutely love gurnard. It's one of my favourite, probably if not my favourite eating fish. Just getting the nibble on the other rod now, so I put this guy out of his misery and on the ice. You beauty. Get this guy on the ice, that's 3 gurnard already. Yeah, you can't complain with the 2 carrots, eh? Oh, we've got a fish on. Oh. That's another gurnard, I think. Bit of weight for this one. Quite a bit of weight to it actually. Could be a nice one. Oh, this is awesome fishing. Only been here 5 minutes. Another gurnard. Just one after another. We've got another fish on too. Let's get this guy off and we'll sort to this next fish. This one. Yeah. So we're fishing with mackerel today. We've got some mackerel baits and a whole bunch of burley that I made up last year. And it's obviously working because I haven't had a break for the 5 minutes I've been here. Man, it's absolutely beautiful out here. We're fishing out at about 25 meters and the water's actually pretty clear, which is nice. It's always nice when it's like this. Bit of swell rolling this morning. It's sort of dropping off a bit, but real short period, so there's a bit of a punch coming out here, but we made it and we're getting into the fish already. So play the waiting game, wait for another fish to hook up, and hopefully we can get into some snappers soon. That burley, pump that. So we got 1 rod on the bottom over here, 1 rod on the bottom over here, and 2 rods casted out the back in the burley trail. Alright. Could have a snapper on here. Yeah, it's a snapper. We're in. The drag on this reel's buggered, so I'm just going to use my thumb. Oh, it's a good fish. What do we got? Come on, be a snapper. It's way off the back. What is it? It's a snapper. Yeah, beauty. Oh yes, look at that for a fish. Oh, oh, we're not accelerate too early. Oh. Woo! Yeah, boy, that's what I came for. Woo! That is an absolutely stunning fish. Look at the size of it. Woo! Yes, that is a 20-pound fish right there. Yes! Look how fat he is. Just look how fat that fish is. Woo! That is amazing. That is such a nice snapper. Oh, far out. I am stoked with that, man. That is an awesome fish. I was battling on that reel with no drag, so I was using my thumb as drag. It was pretty rough, but I managed to land it, and I am so stoked, man. Look at that for a fish. Woo! Alright, let's get this bad boy icky to get him on ice, because we need to look after this meat if we're going to take a fish this big. Unfortunately, we're at a depth where the survival rate is really low, so coming out here, I just, instead of releasing fish, I'll just limit my catch and take what I catch. I figure that way there's less mortality, and I'm just taking a few fish, so it's not going to be too bad. Well, he had the last laugh, didn't he? Ah, he got me good. I got one, but also the fish got one back. I got about 6 snapper spines in my leg there, and it's pretty bloody painful. Anyone who's had those before knows what the deal is. Hopefully they haven't broken off in my leg, because I've had that before and left it, didn't know about it, left it for about a week and started doing some permanent nerve damage in my forearm. So it was as soon as I went to get it checked out, it was emergency surgery, and we had to get that sorted out pretty quick, because there was a chance I could have lost my arm. So it's no joke if you do get kinder spines, snapper spines, and yeah, go and get them sorted out quick, sooner rather than later. Look at the bubba, little grey boy. Hiya! Oh, could be another big snapper actually. Could be a big snapper. Whew! What an epic morning. Started off with some girded, we've only had a couple of sharks as bycatch, and we got that big 20-pound snapper right underneath the boat. Man, if anything I thought that would have got that on the ones out the back, but he was right underneath the boat, probably sitting right by that belly cage, and man, what a fish that was. I'm stoked with that. Oh, that's a good fish actually. Bit of weight to it. Oh, that's a good fish. That's a perfect fish. Won't feel guilty about taking that one. Oh yeah. It's a beautiful snapper, that one. Perfect eating size. We'll get this guy in the bin. I think I might have another fish on. Oh. Don't know what that is. It's not really fighting. A lot of weight to it though. Oh, it's heavy. real hairy. I don't know what that is. Could be a shark. What is it? We got colour. Oh shit, I think it's a big snapper. Oh, it's a huge snapper. Holy shit, look at that fish. Oh my god. Wow, that is a huge snapper. Holy moly. Woo! Alright, let's get the net. Oh, it's good net, good net, good net. Oh. Oh. Oh, yeah. Oh. Woo! Look at that fish. Oh, it's shaking. Look at this fish. Look at that for a fish. Look at the nose on it. Oh. Wow, that is a beast of a fish. I'm going to try and release this one, I think. So I know he might not survive. He might not even go back down, but I think we're going to try and release this guy. Yeah. Come on. Oh no. Come on, mate. Come on, mate. Oh no. I think I'll just hold this guy here for 10 minutes and I'll let you know if he goes away. If not, we'll take him home. We'll sure make use of him, but yeah, I think we'll just hold him here for 10 minutes, see if he recovers and put him back in the water. Come on, mate. Come on. Well, unfortunately, guys, he didn't want to go back. He didn't fight at all to begin with anyway. And yeah, unfortunately, he's just not going to go back, so. All right, what a morning. It's about 8:30 a.m. and we're heading back in and I'm going to work. So, late start today. And I'm bloody glad I got up early to do this because that is an epic snapper session. Started off with a few gurnard, a couple of sharks in between, and we finished off with a bang with a couple of those snappers. So I'm absolutely bloody stoked with that. Pretty gutted that that big one wouldn't release, but I know that's the case out here. It's just too deep. We're in about 25-30 meters and they just don't do well. They puff up and they're really hard to get back. So studies have shown that anything sort of over 13-14 meters, very low survivorship. So it's best just to keep what you catch as long as it's legal and stop there. So I stopped at 3 snapper there. It is what it is. It's not going to go to waste. It's going to feed a hell of a lot of families. So we're going to get that filleted. We're going to smoke all the frames. If there's any roe in those, we're going to smoke those up, make a smoked fish dip, including mounting that head because that had some character in there. There's probably a whole bunch of lumps on his nose and on his forehead. So we'll get that full skull mounted up, and yeah, that's a wrap. So we're going to head back in. Bit of a punch, that swell's sort of dropped off a bit, but it'll be a following sea anyway, so it should be a nice ride home. See you back at my place. Ew! And about 73 centimeters. Alright, so we're just going to get these fish cut up. So we're going to come in just behind the head, get right up in there behind the pectoral fin. Spin it around and work away along that ridge, raking the skin the whole way, and then we're just going to work away along it, pull that fillet off. There's one big juicy fillet right there. We'll flip the fish, do the other side. Boom. I like to make a hole in the skin and use that as a finger hold. Beautiful big white clean fillet there. There's a lot of meat on one side of that fish. Number 2. Right, so we're just taking off any of the excess meat left over and all the bones. We're probably not going to use these bones, we're just going to use the main structure because I don't want it to get too fiddly. So we're going to have the jaw, the big knobbly eyes, the big head here, and the cheeks, and that's probably what I'm going to mount. So what I'm going to do now is pull the whole jaw structure off as one. I'm pretty familiar with those bones, so I should be pretty confident I can put those back together, and then I'm going to suss out the main structure of the head after that. Then we're left with the main bit, which is this. A lot of meat in between it, so I'm just going to have to get all that out, break it up a bit. And it doesn't look like it's going to be too many sections, so we'll see how it goes. Alright, so I'm just in the middle of putting this jaw together. I've done the stuff I'm familiar with, so which is the lower jaw, the upper jaw pieces are coming together, and I've just put the cheeks together. Then we're going to start putting the main structure of the head back together, which is going to be the tricky part for me because I haven't done this before. So we've got all the pieces here. We've got the jaw, the cheeks, the skull, and a couple of connective bits. Some of these which may not get used, but I'm just going to see how I go and put together as much as I can. And once I've sort of got a hang of it, I'll carry on videoing and talk you through what I'm doing. Alright, so I've got the jaw tacked in place with a tiny bit of super glue. Note the gap at the top here. That's to go in between here. You can see where it slots up on either side. I'm just tacking it in place, not fully gluing it just yet because there's going to be a bit of pressure to try and get it into the right place. And then once it's in the right orientation, they've got the right spread, I'll tack it in and finish gluing the whole thing. Alright, so we're just putting the two cheek plates together, and then they fit into place here on the side of the skull. So we're just putting those into place now. You'll know when you find the right spot because all the knuckles and stuff will line up and it will fit real snug. So once you've done a test fit, put a bit of glue on and then put it in place. So that's the two cheek plates in place. Just going to tack it up and make sure it's glued, but not over glued because I want it to still be flexible to get that jaw on. Can't get through it without gluing your fingers together. So here's our jaw piece and there's our main skull. Now we just have to marry the two up. You want to keep those cheek plates flexible, and then you can use a bit of pressure on the top of the jaw and squeeze it in between these nose bones. And then the bottom of the cheek plates have to match up to the bottom of the jaw. You can see the knuckles here just getting close to each other, and that's why it's got to stay flexible, because you have to use a bit of force to get it where it needs to be. Once we've got a good test fit, get some glue on it and line it all up. So that's pretty much everything tacked into place now. We're just going to go around and add some extra glue to make sure everything's super strong. Last finishing touch is to get the gill plates on either side. And that's pretty much it. We'll let it dry. Still a bit stinky, so I'll let it sit in the sun for a few days, and then once the smell goes, I'll paint it with some hydrogen peroxide and then hose it off, and that'll whiten it up and kill any bacteria that's left over. So that's pretty much it, and it just sort of stands by itself so you can display it. Pretty awesome fish, stoked with that one. And this fish has fed a hell of a lot of people. We've fed all the neighbours around us, some mates, some other families, and even a homeless man when I was getting some fish and chips. So one fish has fed a whole bunch of people, and super stoked to be able to catch a fish like this. It's a shame we wouldn't go back, but you know, we're out there to get a feed at the end of the day, and it is what it is. That's it for this one, guys. If you liked it, hit the thumbs up. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button, and we'll catch you in the next one.